What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Matt Talk Sports, and I am back with another video. And I am breaking down what we witnessed in the week 6 of the NFL slate. And listen, we have two more games Monday night. And let me say this, there are a lot of people, and frankly, too many people online complaining about two Monday night football games. I'm sorry. Are you serious? If you are complaining about two Monday night football games, I have to tell you this, just bluntly, you are a pussy. If you just heard what I said, you can say it with me at the same time. You are a pussy if you're complaining about two Monday night football games. I'm sorry. They're 1 hour apart. On East Coast, the best time standards for any state throughout the states, one game's at 7, the other game's at 8. Not a big deal, and we get two games on a night instead of one. That is completely fine and perfect to me, if you ask me. But anyway, week 6 was a chalky week, to be clear. It was a chalky week. It wasn't like anything crazy happened. But nonetheless, I'm going to talk about it because there are some things we can talk about. And also, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and comment on this video if you made it this far. And hopefully you did. Now, I just want to say this. We witnessed maybe the worst London game of all time, if not generally just the worst football game of the season so far, in the London game at 9 a.m. if you're on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast at 6 a.m. and you watch this game, I'm praying for you, brother, because holy shit, was that a horrible game. The Broncos beat the Jets 13-11. The Broncos couldn't cover -7.5. Broncos barely had one touchdown scored today. A lot of people were picking the Broncos earlier in this year and going to the season to be their like sneaky Super Bowl pick. I'm sorry. Through week 6, the Broncos have zero chance of making the Super Bowl. They might have even like a zero chance to win a playoff game. I mean, that offense is not good. I like J.K. Dobbins. I like Cortland Sutton. I even like Bo Nix just a little bit. Bo Nix is just not a good quarterback, not a great one. This Jets defense I've been watching for 6 weeks, and they've been abysmal. And Bo Nix and the Broncos offense couldn't do nothing. Is that because of the flight to London? Don't know. But nonetheless, a horrible performance on offense from the Broncos. And the Jets, like I said during the predictions episode this week that I dropped earlier, someone was trying to tell me Justin Fields was a good quarterback. Justin Fields is atrocious. He is horrible. All the years I've been watching NFL football, I've never seen a quarterback make the QB's position this complicated in my lifetime. Justin Fields threw 9 passes that were completed on Sunday morning. He also took 9 sacks. Justin Fields is horrible. And Garrett Wilson, you have to request a trade, bro. You gotta get out of New Jersey. You just have to. Garrett Wilson is too great of a wide receiver to be stuck in this purgatory, or even to a greater extent, this hell of a football team, the New Jersey Jets. I'm sorry, the New York Jets. Don't mean to offend any Jets fans out there. The Jets are abysmal, they're horrible, and they are clearly the worst team in the NFL. The Jets are egregiously bad. Egregiously. But somehow they covered today. So listen, there's a phrase out there that said, good teams win, great teams cover. So you might be a fucking great team, Jets, in some people's eyes, but not in my opinion. The Broncos are underwhelming. The Jets are egregiously bad. And honestly, Aaron Glenn, you look like a one and done head coach. Aaron Glenn is horrible. Aaron Glenn is horrible. And listen, I know the Broncos defense is really good. Nick Benito might be the defensive player of the year. But going into this year, people were telling me, and I even thought so, looking at the O line of the Jets, that the Jets might have a top 10 O line. Not the case. They let up 9 sacks this morning. They let up 9 sacks. Justin Fields threw for how many yards? Let me check it with you guys in real time. Justin Fields threw for, wait a minute, 45 yards. Justin Fields had 9 completed passes. He attempted 17. 45 passing yards in a 4-quarter game. Brees Hall, 22 carries for 59 yards. This O-line is not nearly as good as everyone thought it would be heading to the season. That O-line is underwhelming. Bo Nix, 19 for 30, 1 touchdown, 174 passing, 14 carries for 40 yards for J.K. Dobbins. I'm sorry. The NFL is trying to appease to the international audience. This game set back the NFL. This game was horrible. Horrible, 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 and I'm sorry I talked about it for this long, but the Broncos win. A win is a win in the NFL, but holy shit. If there was a game to walk away from a game and say they win, makes your team look worse, this is that game. The Broncos look like shit. The Jets look like horse shit and pig shit and dog shit combined. Dude, conglomerate and collab for a mega shit. The Jets are horrible. I think Aaron Glenn is a one and done. I think Garrett Wilson should call for a trade. I think Breece Hall should call for a trade. I think they should blow up that whole organization and just fucking try to blow it up and just start things new, because Aaron Glenn and that Jets organization is horrible. It was egregious. It's a Sunday. It's sacrilegious to a lot of people. For me, it's for football. Other people, it's for religion. Football is my religion. And I had to wake up at 9 o'clock to watch this fucking game, and I hated myself for it. Moving on. Let's get into the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock slates of today's football. Let's get into it. Steelers versus Browns. Steelers beat the Browns 23-9. This game was simple, and I won't be spending too much time on it. Aaron Rodgers is playing some sneakily great football for the Steelers. He's doing exactly what he needs to do, and he's clearly the best quarterback the Steelers have had since prime Big Ben. He's way better than the previous quarterbacks, especially in recent memory for the Steelers. He's way better than Russell Wilson, I'll tell you that much. But if you took Dylan Gabriel, a rookie quarterback, to cover or beat the Steelers today, I need you to slap yourself in the face. No, seriously, I need you to slap yourself in the face here. Because what you did was extremely casual and amateurish. Why did you do that? I'm seriously asking you, why did you do that? I know the Cleveland Browns defense is good. You couldn't even tell if Myles Garrett was playing football today. You just couldn't. Flat out, plainly, you couldn't. DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers have some really good chemistry. Way better chemistry than I thought they would have heading into this year. Yes, I predicted the Steelers to go 11-6, but I've been slowly getting off of the bandwagon for the Steelers these past couple of weeks, because I am still unimpressed by the football they're playing, but recently their defense has been stepping up, and then Aaron Rodgers is making the right plays at the right time. The Steelers win, and they got a really big win. They could have easily lost this game if they weren't, fully in it, but clearly they were fully in it, and they weren't going to let a rookie quarterback beat them, let alone cover. So the Steelers win this game, and listen, it's a big win. It's a good win. A win is a win in the NFL, and they covered and they won. The Steelers win 23-9. Moving on. I'm going to get the blowouts out the way for today, because there were close games, but at the end of the day, they weren't that close of a game. So let's get into the blowouts here. Rams beat the Ravens. If you were a Rams fan, you had a scare today. It looked like Puka Nacua got hurt badly. It didn't look great, but Puka came back in the game later. And also, this game was really weird. Rams were making this game competitive for some reason. The Ravens defense was playing good today, but the Ravens offense is just not good, especially with Cooper Rush at quarterback. Derrick Henry got back in the good column. He had 122 rushing yards, 22 carries. Zay Flowers had 2 fumbles today. Really bad stuff by Zay Flowers today. But the Rams did what they needed to do today. I mean, Stafford had 181 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Kyren Williams with 1 touchdown, 30 carries for 50 yards. I mean, the Rams slept walk through this game and still won, because that's how bad and dead this Ravens franchise is without Lamar Jackson at the helm. So the Ravens are heading into a bye week. They're 1-5. They get Lamar Jackson after the bye, apparently, according to John Harbaugh, but it's not great. It's really not great with the Ravens. I mean, if they make the playoffs, they're going to sneak into it, and they're praying the AFC remains weak, because the AFC is weak at the moment. And if they get into the playoffs, it's because they went out or they lose 1 to 2 games moving forward throughout the rest of the year. So I still see them making the playoffs, especially if you look at the AFC North's odds. The Steelers are minus 135 to win the division, and I think the Ravens are plus 140, something along those lines, which is crazy. They're 1-5, and they're still that short in the odds to win the division. That's crazy to me. But the Rams win. They got a big win. Not a big win, but they got a much needed win, considering they lost outright to the 49ers last week as a plus 8.5 favorite. So Rams win 17-3. They cover, but it felt like they should have won by 30. Instead, they won by 14. Moving on. The rest of these games were actually close. I'm going to get into my AFC East little brother, Dolphins versus Chargers. Miami Dolphins fall to 1-5. The Chargers get a much needed win but improve to 4-2. Chargers win 29-27 in Miami. Tua Tagovailoa, it's your last year at Miami. It's your last year as a Miami Dolphin quarterback. You are just not good. 3 picks today, 1 touchdown, 205 yards passing, 21 for 32. Devon Achane continues to be an explosive weapon for the Miami Dolphins. He is electric. He's a firework. He is an electric factory. This guy is fast as fuck. He is terrific. Jalen Waddle, 6 receptions for 95 yards. Terrific. Your quarterback isn't. The Miami Dolphins are drafting the quarterback this year or trading for one. Tua Tagovailoa is not the answer. Tua Tagovailoa is a bad quarterback. He threw his head coach under the bus in this press conference today, saying players are showing up late and making excuses not to show up to practice or whatever the fuck he said in full extent. But he threw his head coach under the bus. And he even threw himself under the bus because at the end of the day, the head coach is the leader, but so is the quarterback. You are just as responsible for being a leader in the locker room as your quarterback, as your head coach, I mean. And Tua is clearly not a leader, and clearly he's not a good quarterback. 3 interceptions today, 3 horrible interceptions today, and you allowed the Chargers to win this game. And they didn't deserve to win this game, to be quite honest. Herbert, 2 touchdowns, 29 for 38, 264 yards passing. Vidal, their third string, or maybe their fourth string running back, had 124 yards and 18 carries. Lab McConkey, who's been having an underwhelming year, 7 receptions for 100 yards, and he had the big play to win this game for them. It's shocking because the Dolphins defense actually played good in some spots today, but at the end of the day, they can't overcome the shittiness of Tua Tagovailoa, or should I say Tua turned the ball over. But at the end of the day, the Miami Dolphins lose, and Mike McDaniels looks distraught. The pants he's wearing, alongside Aaron Glenn, the pants these dudes are wearing, it just doesn't scream head coach to me and a lot of other people because it's a big talking point on Twitter. But Chargers win. They moved to 4-2, a much needed win. They're first in the AFC West, I believe. And I think the Broncos are second, and I think the Chiefs are third. I think that's how it goes. And the Chiefs are probably going to win that division because the Chargers are way too banged up on the offensive line. Herbert is getting hit way too much, and they're way too injured at running back. The Chargers, I don't know what to think about the Chargers at the moment, but the Chargers they're good. They got a good defense. They're well coached, but they're too banged up on offense to make a really big run or an impactful run in the playoffs this year, in my opinion. Moving on, the Patriots. This is a big game for me to talk about. The Patriots won 25-19. I released a video on TikTok saying something about Drake May. I'm gonna relay it here. I'm scared to say this. I almost shit my pants watching Drake May today. I'm almost shit my pants watching Drake May today. That's how I felt watching Drake May. That dude is great. First of all, the refs were hoeing and keeping the Saints in this game. The Patriots should have won this game by 2 touchdowns maybe. And somehow they only won by 6 points, 25-19 over the Saints. I know I predicted the Saints to win, and the Saints are a better team than everyone thought they were going to be heading to this year, including myself. I think the Saints actually performed really well today. Spencer Rattler, 20 for 26, 227 yards passing, 10 for 31 rushing for Kamara. That's underwhelming. Chris Olave, 6 receptions for 98 yards. But, man, the Patriots dominated today despite the score. Drake May should have had 4 touchdowns today. 1 touchdown was taken off the board. Demario Douglas should have had 2 touchdowns today. Drake May was 18 for 26, 3 touchdowns, 261 passing. He also led the team in rushing. And Keishon Butte, 5 receptions for 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. Demario Douglas had a touchdown as well. 3 for 71, 1 touchdown. Matt Collin had a huge catch to pretty much end the game. Stephon Diggs had a quiet day, 3 for 28. The only worrisome thing about this Patriots team is, one, their rushing part of their offense. When you look at their rushing today against the Saints, Drake May had 9 carries for 28 yards. Trayvon Henderson had 9 for 27, 3 yards a carry. And then Ramondre Stevenson had 13 carries for 18 yards, 1.4 yards per carry. So if you're looking at a weakness for this offense, it's their rushing. The ability to run the ball, it's really bad. And that's a weakness you can attack. But Drake May's been exceptional. He is making the plays that young Josh Allen used to make. And there is a throw that got taken away from the Patriots today where it's 3rd and 11 or something along those lines. And it's a big play of the game. If the Saints get a stop, it's momentum swinging towards their way and in their favor. Reminding you, it's in the dome of New Orleans. And Drake May rolls out to the right, fires a ball to fucking Stephon Diggs. And I thought I was watching Josh Allen for a second. Then I realized, wait, this is a Patriots uniform. This is a Patriots football game, and the Bills play tomorrow on Monday night. The thing that bothers me about this is The Bills have been dominating the AFC for 5 years. They have an AFC title to show for it. What else do they have to show for it? They don't have a Super Bowl ring. They have one MVP. That's about it. They have nothing to show for it. And now, listen, I still believe in the Bills. I think they win the AFC East this year. I think they make the Super Bowl, and I think they win it. And I think Josh probably wins the MVP this year, despite Baker Mayfield clearly being the number one MVP. But that's beside the point. The rivalry between the Patriots and the Bills is going to be higher than ever before. Drake May is a serious quarterback. He's an elite quarterback, and he's been a top 5 quarterback in the NFL this year. Despite this game being close, and the Bills beat the Saints by 11 this year, and people were shitting on the Bills. The Patriots beat the Saints by 6. So I hate the discrepancy, and I understand it, but Drake May is elite. He is legit, and he is someone Bills fans should fear because the Patriots might have a Josh Allen adjacent quarterback on their team. He's not as good as Josh Allen. He's not as great. We don't know what the ceiling for Drake May will be, but man, we allowed the Patriots to rebuild or start a rebuild with Drake May at their quarterback, and we haven't won a Super Bowl. We need to win a Super Bowl this year or the next year to feel good about ourselves, because if we don't, the Patriots rebuilt and they got their fucking quarterback for the future for at least the next 10 to 15 years, because Drake May is legit, man. That dude is serious. And Demario Douglas is a spunky, quick, gritty wide receiver. Butte makes these really tough catches inconsistently. Stephon Diggs is a really good veteran wide receiver to help Drake May build. So is Mac Hollins. But if they somehow improve upon their wide receiver room and even upon their defense, which is already a gritty defense that fights for the head coach, Bills fans should be worried, because I'm starting to feel worrisome. Because watching the throws Drake May was making and watching the playmaking ability of Drake May was worrisome and fearful, because, wow. I was blown away by Drake May today. Blown away by him. He should have had 4 touchdowns today. He had a QB rating of 140, QBR of 92.6. Outrageous performance. And I also want to talk about Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler is 20 for 26, 227. Passing, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And if it wasn't for the Juwan Johnson fumble, this game would have been way closer. Just Spencer Rattler is the quarterback for the Saints, and I think anyone saying Spencer Rattler is ass or not a good quarterback isn't watching football like I am. So Patriots win, and I'm starting to feel a little bit fear for Drake May in the AFC East. And tomorrow night is a huge game for the Buffalo Bills. If we lose to the Falcons, the Patriots are the number 1 team in the AFC East. Does that not make Bills fans watching this fucking scratch your head and lose your mind? I'm gonna calm down, alright? Calm down. Moving on. Colts beat the Cardinals 31-27. The Colts, it was a sweaty one for you guys today. Jacoby Brissett revenge game. Jacoby Brissett had 320 yards passing, 27 for 44, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and Danny Jones had a really bad pick today. Jacoby Brissett was fucking fighting his ass out today. Jacoby Brissett looked really, really good. They almost won this game. Zay Jones had 5 for 79. Trey McBride 8 for 72, 1 touchdown. Michael Wilson 4 for 44. Michael Harrison Jr. got injured early in this game, but he was hot to start, 2 for 32. I think the Colts showed their weaknesses today. Despite moving to 5-1, Danny Jones 22 for 30, 212, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Not a bad game, but that one pick was really bad, and that defense for the Colts isn't good. It's opportunistic defense, but it's not a good defense. Jonathan Taylor continues to dominate. 21 carries for 123 yards, 1 touchdown. He's top 3 running back in the league. Tyler Warren, I'm telling you, man, people were laughing at me when I said this dude's going to be a Hall of Famer. I watched every snap of him at Penn State, and I hate State Penn. I know, like, everyone who's watching this should know the history of State Penn, hashtag Penn State, but that man was special at Penn State, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer, man. I'm telling you, this guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. Tyler Warren, 6 for 63, 1 touchdown. You could put that dude in any spot on the field, and he's going to do something impactful for you. So, Tyler Warren is really good. And then also, the wide receivers for the Colts are underrated. Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, Michael Pittman Jr., and the Colts are giving Amir Abdullah some burn. I remember watching Amir Abdullah in college, one of my favorite college football players of all time at Nebraska. And this dude is in 2025, still giving it some burn. 1 for 9, 1 for 7 rushing the ball. It's just funny. I mean, the Colts made this game way closer than it should have, but the Cardinals were showing some fight. And that's respect to Gannon and Jacoby Brissett for not giving up and rolling over for a way better team. So, Colts win 31-27 and they moved to 5-1. Moving on, Seahawks win this game 20-12 against the Jaguars, and I read this game like a book. Seahawks moved to 4-2. Jaguars moved to 4-2. The Seahawks are incredible on the road, and they find ways to lose the game at home. Jackson Smith-Njigba, the conversations of you being a true elite wide receiver in this league is very, very, very credible. The three clear receivers better than him in the NFL, in my opinion, are Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua. Some people might say Amon-Ra St. Brown, but that's not clear to me. Jackson Smith-Njigba has 100 plus in 3 out of the 6 games he's played this year. Maybe even 4 out of the 6. I forget at the moment. But today he had 8 receptions, 162 yards, and 1 touchdown. Sam Darnold looks fucking incredible. And honestly, my take of saying Geno Smith was a better quarterback than Sam Darnold and that the Seahawks were downgrading at quarterback heading into this year was a horrible take and a wrong one. If you see this video and you see this clip on TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter, or YouTube, throw a tomato at me. Put a tomato in the comments. You're wrong. But Sam Darnold had 295, 16 for 27, 2 touchdowns, and they were cooking. At the end of the day, this is a well-coached team, a well-coached defense. I know they had Reek Woolen out today, but Sam Darnold has been great this year. Sam Darnold has 11 touchdowns and 3 interceptions on the year. He's third in QBR and 7th in the league in passing yards. Sam Darnold has been unreal, and he's proven that he was drafted that high by the Jets for a reason. And the reason why he struggled so much is because he was in New Jersey, rotten in hell, because the New Jersey Jets are horrible. They couldn't run the ball at all today for the Seahawks, but that doesn't matter because A.J. Bardner continues to be an impactful player for the Seahawks. 3 receptions for 71 yards. Cooper Kupp got on the board for the first time for the Seahawks. 2 for 40, 1 touchdown. All they needed today was Jackson Smith-Njigba, and he got it done for them. Trevor Lawrence actually, in my opinion, played one of the best games of the season for himself. He was really impactful mobility-wise, and he was really good throwing the ball. 27 for 42, 258, and a touchdown, 2 touchdowns, as a matter of fact. Travis Etienne struggled to run the ball today. They just couldn't run the ball. At the end of the day, the Seahawks defense is really good, but Brian Thomas Jr. had his best game of the year. 8 receptions, 90 yards, and 1 touchdown. He should have had 2 touchdowns, and except a penalty brought the touchdown back. But everyone else outside of Brian Thomas Jr. today struggled in the receiving wise. Travis Hunter had 4 receptions for 15 yards. I'm still waiting for him to be a little bit better and more impactful on the offensive end, despite him being really good on Monday night last week against the Chiefs. But I read this like a book. Seahawks, I knew they were going to win this game, and they did. So Seahawks win 20-12, and I'm moving on. I figured this game would be a shootout, and it was that. Carolina Panthers win again. Are the Panthers gritty? Are they a team that can get it done? Seemingly, it feels so. I know the Dallas defense is really bad, but man, this Carolina team is pulling out wins and they're running the ball incredibly well. We'll get to their running back. Carolina Panthers moved to 3-3. Cowboys fall to 2-3-1. Carolina Panthers win 30-27 in Carolina. This was a shootout. Dak Prescott continues to impress at quarterback. This loss isn't on him at all. Dak Prescott 25 for 34, 261 passing, 3 touchdowns. They couldn't run the ball at all today, but George Pickens continues to be a more than suitable wide receiver 1 in the absence of CeeDee Lamb. George Pickens 9 for 168 yards and 1 touchdown. Jake Ferguson continues to be one of the best tight ends in the NFL. 3 for 33, 1 touchdown. But everyone outside of that, Ryan Flournoy, I don't know how to say his name, 3 for 30. Everyone outside of that, just bad. Javonte Williams and the play calling on that big down to end the game. They threw like 2 screen passes to Javonte Williams, and both of them resulted in 2 5-yard losses. That ruined the game for the Cowboys. When I saw those 2 plays back to back, I knew the game was over. So the Cowboys couldn't run the ball all today, and everyone outside of George Pickens and Jake Ferguson couldn't do shit. Dak Prescott was great today, but everyone outside of Dak Prescott, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson were shit today. I mean, I hate to be that terribly sounding, but it's the truth. The defense is shit as well. When you have Kyer Elam in your secondary, that's when you know you're gonna have some problems. But the Panthers, Bryce Young went band for band in the shootout with Dak Prescott, one of the best quarterbacks in the league at the moment. Bryce Young, 17 for 25, 199 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Bryce Young was really good today. And then the man of the hour, maybe the man of the past 2 weeks, Rico Dowdle, in his revenge game against the Cowboys. Rico Dowdle is pissed coming to this game. The Cowboys didn't want him. They're like, yo, we want Javonte Williams coming off all these ACL injuries. We don't want you anymore. The Cowboys threw away Rico Dowdle like Andy threw away Woody in Toy Story. We don't want to play with you anymore, bro. And Rico Dowdle showed them, hey, you should have wanted to kept playing with me, bro. Because these past 2 weeks, he had 200 plus yards at the line of scrimmage. He had 200 yards last week, and then he had 200 plus yards this week. Rico Dowdle had 30 carries for 183 yards, 0 touchdowns. He had a receiving touchdown. He led the team in receiving yards, 4 receptions for 56 yards, 1 touchdown. Ted McMillan, I knew he was going to score today. Didn't know he was going to score twice. He had 3 receptions, 29 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ted McMillan's one of the best rookie wide receivers in the NFL, and he's getting overshadowed due to the dominance of Emeka Egbuka, but he's really great as well. All the people who were saying Ted McMillan wasn't going to be a wide receiver or a good wide receiver in the NFL, look at me right here. You were wrong. I know we're in the rookie year. Things could change throughout this year. You were wrong. But Rico Dowdle, how can Chuba Hubbard get his job back? I don't see it. This man has been dominant running the ball. He is hard to tackle. This man is running the ball with tenacity and disruption. He is terrific running the ball, and I love watching this dude run the ball. Rico Dowdle is terrific, and the Cowboys clearly made a mistake getting rid of him. Javonte Williams has been terrific this year. He's been great, but today he was bad. The O-line didn't block for him at all. But Rico Dowdle proved to the Cowboys why they maybe should have kept him. Panthers moved to 3-3. The Panthers play the Jets next week on Sunday at 1 o'clock. The Jets are somehow favored in that game, -1.5. Holy shit. If you're betting -1.5 Jets, call the 1-800-GAMBLING hotline. Even if you win outright, call the 1-800-GAMBLING hotline. I know the Jets covered this week, but Jesus Christ. Jesus. How do the Jets beat the Carolina Panthers next week? I don't know. But the NFL is any given Sunday, so they could win. But the Carolina Panthers are probably going to be 4-3 moving into week 8. Moving on. The Raiders beat the second worst team in the NFL, the Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward is so lucky the Titans are a major talking point in the NFL week in, week out. Cam Ward was horrible today. Not only was he horrible today, his fucking O-line was bad today. And, they're facing Max Crosby and Devin White, who had a great game today. He reverted back the clock, but Cam Ward was 26 for 38, 222 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Tony Pollard, 10 yards for 34. Tony Pollard, 10 carries for 34 yards, 0 touchdowns. The running game continues to be bad for the Titans. Van Jefferson, 4 for 75. Chikawamu, 6 for 46. Maynor, 3 for 27. Cam Ward had 2 fumbles for 2 and lost both of them. So Cam Ward had a bad day. He had 3 turnovers today. This is a bad day. He is one of the most, if not the most, least talked about number 1 overall pick of all time. The other one is Trayvon Walker, probably on the Jaguars, but Trayvon Walker is actually good. Cam Ward had a bad day. I like Cam Ward. He made some great throws last week to win the game against the Cardinals. But let's be honest, if DeMarcado doesn't fumble the ball before crossing the touchdown, if DeMarcado doesn't fumble the ball before crossing the end zone, that game's not even a conversation. The Cardinals win that game. Instead, he doesn't, and if the guy who picked off Cam Ward while in his own end zone doesn't fumble the ball and Lockett doesn't recover it, that game's not a talking point. So the Titans fall to 1-5. Geno Smith continues to be a turnover machine. He had another pick today. He now has 10 picks on the season, the most picks in the NFL. Ashton Jeanty, 23 for 75 yards, 1 touchdown. Trey Tucker continues to be dominant for the Raiders, 5 for 70, 0 touchdowns. Michael Mayer scored a touchdown in the absence of Bowers. Devin White had a great game today. He forced a fumble, had a pick. He was terrific today. Raiders win and shitty off. Raiders moved to 2-4. Titans moved to 1-5, and not much to talk about there. Moving on, the 49ers. lose 19-30 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tampa Bay. The 49ers moved to 4-2. Tampa Bay moves to 5-1. Not only did the 49ers lose Nick Bosa early in the year to a season-ending injury, today they lost Fred Warner, who is their second best defensive player, if not their first best, to a season-ending injury. And the injuries for this 49ers team is insurmountable. Listen, Mac Jones threw for 347 yards today, 27 for 39. He had 2 picks. Christian McCaffrey continues to be really good this year. 17 carries, 1 touchdown, 54 yards. Kendrick Bourne looks fucking great for the 49ers. 5 for 142. Jake Tonjes continually looks great. 6 for 58. McCaffrey had 54 yards rushing and 57 yards receiving. Listen, Mac Jones looked good relatively, but he made 2 crucial bad decisions in this game. And honestly, the man of the hour in this game is Baker Mayfield because, yes, the 49ers are banged up really bad, severely, and the injuries are insurmountable, but Baker Mayfield is clearly the MVP favorite. I know he's not going to be realistically with betting odds. Josh Allen is, and he deserves to be so because he's the best quarterback in the league, and the schedule for the Bills is very easy. But Baker Mayfield has been the best quarterback in the NFL through 6 weeks without even seeing the Monday night games. Josh Allen is clearly the best NFL quarterback alongside Pat Mahomes and Lamar, but Baker Mayfield has been the best quarterback through 6 weeks. Baker Mayfield, 17 for 23, 256, 2 touchdowns. Emeka Buka went down today. He didn't finish the game. He had 2 receptions for 24 yards. Mike Evans wasn't in this game, heading into this game. And Bucky Irvin wasn't in this game, heading into this game. Rachaad White took over the RB1 duties. He had 70 carries for 65 yards, 1 touchdown. Sean Tucker had a touchdown today. But Baker Mayfield, there's this play in this game where it's a huge down in the game. It's like 3rd and 11, and Baker Mayfield somehow evades a sack or two, jukes out a defender, and gets the first down, reaches it out. Baker Mayfield's revival in his career is one of the best revivals I've ever seen an NFL player do. So Baker Mayfield's been terrific, and Baker Mayfield's one of the most exciting players in the NFL, and he's one of the most gritty and gutsy players in the NFL. He had a QBR of 80.7, then he had a rating of 139. He was terrific today. The 2 touchdowns he threw today were to Cameron Johnson and Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson caught his first NFL pass. No disrespect to either of those gentlemen, but come on. These are the players he threw the ball to today, excluding Emeka Buka because he only had 2 catches today before he got injured. Cameron Johnson, Sterling Shepard, K. Dot, and Tez Johnson, and Rachaad White. Now, let me tell you this. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Emeka Buka are all going to be healthy at some point. That's why I picked them to make the Super Bowl, because they are 5-1 with these injuries, and somehow they are 5-1 with those injuries. This is a team that's making the playoffs for sure, winning that division, and they're going to make the Super Bowl. And they're going to lose the Super Bowl to the Buffalo Bills, but that's a story for another day and later in the season. But the Tampa Bay Bucks are legit, and this is the last time this season where I'm picking against them, because the past 2 games I picked against them, and they proved me wrong twice. They asked me the same question, like, hey, bro, why did you pick me to make a Super Bowl? And you're picking me to lose these 2 games against the Seahawks and the 49ers, especially the banged up 49ers. Show me some respect. So I do want to say one thing before I leave that game. The 49ers might be like making the Super Bowl if they didn't have so many injuries. Nick Bosa out for the season, Fred Warner out for the season, and then the injuries on offense. Wow. So, wow. Moving on. Bengals lose 18-27 to the Packers in Green Bay. Cincinnati moves to 2-4. Packers move to 3-1-1. Joe Flacco was a way better quarterback than Jake Browning. Joe Flacco, 29 for 45, 219, 2 touchdowns. Chase Brown, 9 carries for 42 yards. Jamar Chase looked unbelievable today. And ultimately, they brought in Joe Flacco to do this one thing: throw to our 2 highest-paid offensive players. Jamar Chase had 10 receptions for 94 yards, 1 touchdown. T. Higgins had 5 receptions for 62 yards. That's all you want as a Bengals fan, especially if you're running the organization of the Bengals. Throw to our highest-paid players. And that's what he did. Joe Flacco looked great, but I have to say this about the Packers. The Packers are not nearly as good as I thought they were going to be. They remain unimpressive to me. They only had 1 sack on Joe Flacco today. Either the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line played the best they've ever played this year, or the defensive line wasn't doing anything. Micah Parsons has some of the most pressures in the NFL this year, but the defensive line did not look good today. And Jordan Love, Matthew Golden looked really good today, but Jordan Love remains unimpressive to me. 19 for 26, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He only took 1 sack. Josh Jacobs was really the the memo today. Josh Jacobs had 18 carries for 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was really effective in the receiving game, like he's been in the past 2 games. Jordan Love, the only impressive thing about him today was his rushing ability and his ability to improvise. He was really good rushing the ball today. 7 carries for 26 yards. He had some really big conversions to get a first down today. Um, Matthew Golden looked really good today. He's going to be a really good wide receiver in the NFL. 3 for 86. He was impactful in any which way, running the ball or catching the ball. He had 2 carries for 16 yards today. Josh Jacobs, 5 for 57 receiving the ball. Romeo Doubs, 5 for 55. Tucker Kraft, 2 for 43 and 1 touchdown. Listen, Luke Van Ness had the only sack today. I'm just expecting more out of this D line, whether it's Quay Walker, whether it's Micah Parsons, or whether it's Rashawn Gary. I just I remain unimpressed with the Packers defense at the moment. I just because the Panthers defense looked really good in some spots against the Cowboys, and I know the NFL is week to week, and every week is going to be different to the previous or the week after. But I'm not sold on the Packers as much as I was going into this year, so I remain unimpressed with the Packers, and I'm moving on to the final game of the Sunday slate. Chiefs win. I picked the Lions to win this game, but ultimately, was I surprised the Chiefs won this game? Not in the slightest. The Chiefs won 30-17, and honestly, my biggest gripe with this game was the over didn't hit, and that's my biggest gripe with this game. The over didn't hit, and that hurt my soul. So, the Chiefs won 30-17, and I'm trying to fucking. I have to say this. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. He's one of my favorite running backs to watch in the NFL. And if you watch the NFL, you should feel the same way. He's just a dominant running back, and I love watching him run the ball. But the Chiefs bottled him up this entire game. The Lions lost this game when they kept on taking too much time off the clock, in and out each drive. I swear, the first 2 drives of this game for the Lions took like 6 minutes per pop. It just took way too long, and it's not like they could have scored earlier. Like, they could have scored way earlier than they did in those drives, but they just took way, 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 way too long. Especially that first drive. The first drive was a big damper, not only for the Lions, but for the fucking over. That thrown pass by David Montgomery to Jared Goff was a big blemish for the Lions' game plan and for the over, because Jared Goff caught that touchdown, but he forgot to take one step back from under the center so he can put himself into a receiving spot so the flag wouldn't be thrown. But let's go over the stats for this game. Jared Goff, 23 for 29, 203 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He wasn't bad today. Jahmyr Gibbs was really the big issue today, and it's not really due to him. The defense of the Chiefs was just really good today, like we always knew. The Chiefs' defense shows up in the biggest spots of their season, and they did that today. Jahmyr Gibbs, 17 carries for 65 yards. David Montgomery averaged 6 yards a carry. He only had 4 carries today, though, 4 for 24. Jameson Williams, 6 for 66, 1 touchdown. Sam Laporta, 5 for 55, 1 touchdown. Amon Run, 9 for 45, 0 touchdowns. He hasn't had a touchdown in 2 straight games, which is weird. And then David Montgomery, 2 for 37. So that's really the memo of this game. And then also the Chiefs' offense is back. We know the defense is going to show up in the most important spots, but Pat Mahomes was brilliant today. 22 for 30, 257 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He only took 3 sacks today. Maybe the best game of the year for him. I know the Lions are banged up on defense. They're missing 2 of their starting corners, so that played a factor in today's game. But he was really great today. The only uncertified thing about this Chiefs offense to me is their rushing attack. Isaiah Pacheco looks slow as ever. 12 for 51, 4.3 yards per carry. He looks like he's running in 2 jeans. It looks like he's wearing 2 jeans at the same time while he's running. Not a good running back in this point of his career. And then they have Kareem Hunt as their second running back. That's a weakness of that team, clearly. But the receiving weapons they have for this team is immense. Pat Mahomes also had a rushing touchdown today. Like, Pat Mahomes has 2 straight games where he's rushed the ball for a touchdown. Maybe even 3. I forget what happened in the Ravens game, if he scored a rushing touchdown or not. But Travis Kelce was great today. 6 for 78. Juju Smith, 3 for 57. Hollywood Brown had 2 touchdowns today, 4 receptions for 45 yards. Noah Gray was great. Xavier Worthy, 2 receptions for 20 yards, 1 touchdown. Just great. The offense looked great. The defense made some really big stops. And the Chiefs are back. As a Bills fan, I was hoping the Chiefs would take a step back. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs are getting back Rashee Rice next week, which hurts. Which it really does hurt. And I'm not looking forward to it. I'm just not looking forward to Rashee Rice returning back to this offense. I am just not happy about it because let me list you this wide receiving core that the Chiefs are going to have. Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Marquise Brown, Noah Gray, Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, Brashad Smith. That's a lot of weapons for Pat Mahomes, and this offense has looked the best it's looked in the past year or so. So Bills fans, be worried. And tonight is a big game because I'm releasing this on Monday morning at least. Tonight is a big game for the Bills. If the Bills lose tonight, they move to second in the AFC East, which isn't insurmountable, but the Patriots' schedule is easy, and so is the Bills' schedule. So if there's any blemishes in the Bills' schedule, that's tough. The Bills have to face the Bucks, the Eagles, and the Chiefs at some point in the season. All right, so I wrapped up the Week 6 NFL slate. Listen, if the Bills lose to the Falcons tomorrow, there will be an emergency video on YouTube for the Bills because I need to talk about it, I need to rant about it, and I need to get my rocks off if the Bills lose. Maybe if the Bills win in an extraordinary fashion, I might release a vid because that's how dedicated I am to the game of this content shit. So, it was a fun Week 6, not the most eventful Week 6, but it's NFL football. Who am I to complain about NFL football in October? Because in May, I'd be crawling and scratching for games like this. So it is your boy Matt Talk Sports, and I will see you maybe Tuesday if the Bills lose, maybe Tuesday if the Bills win in extraordinary fashion. But if not, I'll see you like my schedule has always pertained. Thursday night, Friday morning. I'll see you there. Follow me everywhere I'm at Talk Sports on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel right now if you made it this far. Leave a like, leave a comment, and guess what? I'll see you on the flip side.